one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready? Cut! Cut! Pace! Forward! Right!
Please be seated.
Good evening, Town High School Class of 2026, faculty, families, friends, and esteemed guests. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Town High School 2026 graduation. Please join me in a round of applause as we celebrate the achievements of the 278 students of the Town High School graduation class.
As the Student Council Association Executive Board President, it is my pleasure to introduce some special guests who are here to celebrate with us today. Seated behind me are members of the York County School Board. As I introduce each of them, I ask that they please stand when introduced. Representing District 1, Mr. Mark Schaefer. Representing District 2, Board Chair, Mr. Zoran Payevich. Representing District 3, Ms. Kimberly Goodwin. Representing District 4, Board Vice Chair, Mr. James Richardson. And representing District 5, the TAP Zone, Ms. Linda Fairman. Also seated on the stage are members of the York County School Board Cabinet. Please stand when introduced. Division Superintendent, Dr. James Carroll. Chief Operations Officer, Dr. Melissa Pettigrew. Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Candy Skinner. Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Bill Bowen. And last but not least, our Chief Human Resources Officer, Dr. David Wright.
Finally, it is my privilege to welcome current and former CAPSO principals who join us on stage today to represent the community and educators who have supported today's graduates along their academic journeys. Please stand and introduce. From Coventry Elementary, Ms. Lisa Gillen. From Mount Vernon Elementary, Dr. Jacqueline Wonder. From Bethel Bay Elementary, Mr. Anthony Freeman. And from Catholic School, Ms. Denisha Bazemore. And former principal of Catholic School, Mr. Lord Michael. On behalf of the TAP community, please join me in thanking our guests for their many contributions to TAP High School. currently serves as chairman of the New York County School Board. Born in Sarajevo, Bosnia, he and his family fled the civil war, living as refugees in Serbia before eventually immigrating to the United States. Though he did not speak English when he arrived, he enrolled in community college within 10 months. Over the years, Zoran built a successful career in construction, real estate, and community leadership. In addition to leading his company, he has served on the Association of Realtors Board as chairman of the Newport News YMCA, and currently serves as chairman of the Board of Trustees for the New Horizons Regional Education Center, where he strongly supports career and technical education and workforce development opportunities for students across the region. Outside of his professional and public service roles, Zoran is most proud of being a husband and father. He and his wife Diana are raising their three sons, Peter, Thomas, and Jacob, who attend Grafton High School. His experiences as both a father and a community leader continue to shape his passion for education and helping students build confidence in themselves and their future. Please welcome New York County School Board Chair, Mr. Zoran Klein.
Eddie, thank you so much for such a good introduction. Good evening, everyone. Graduates and families and staff. It's my honor and privilege to be here to thank you tonight for congratulations. Tonight is a big moment. A moment you worked towards for years. A moment that felt hard at times, and now it's here. Each of you is walking across the stage with your own story. Some of you had to school. Some of you had to fight for it, and some of you have not gotten enough time to respect. But here you are, and that matters. There's something I want you to remember as you leave here tonight. Every one of you wants something more. To be great at something, to build something, to be free to live your life on your own terms. And along the way, life is going to test you. Things won't always be and go according to plan. There will be moments when you're not sure what to do. But those moments are not fine. What defines you is what you choose to do next. So here's the question. What comes next? I can tell you from my experience as you heard my introduction. Sometimes the next step is all you can see. That's enough. Some of you have planned, some of you are still figuring it out, and some of you are still not planning. That is okay, because the future is not something that just happens to you. It is something you build. One decision at a time, one opportunity at a time, and one step at a time. You don't have to have everything figured out tonight. Most successful people did. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Take the chance. Start the business. Learn the new skill. Introduce yourself to someone new. Do the thing you've been talking yourself out of doing. Because opportunity rarely shows up when you're ready. It shows up when you are. Really. And understand this, you are not doing this alone. You have families who sacrificed for you. You have the teachers who believe in you. And you have friends that supported you along the way in the future. And you have the community that invested in you. We are proud of you. We are counting on you. Not because we expect you to be perfect, but because we believe you're capable of making a difference. The future of our community, that is not a pressure, it's an opportunity. So as you leave here tonight, remember this. You don't have to know exactly who will lead. You just have to take the next step and the one after that. Because confidence does not come before action. It comes from action. So take the chance. Start start where you are. Trust yourself enough to believe. And whatever path you choose, make it yours. Go build something to be proud of. And one day, when you look back to this moment, I hope you can say, I didn't wait. I didn't stand still. I went for it. As one of my old friends that's Irish told me an old saying, at the time when I was at crossroads like you are, and inspired me deep in my life, my career. I'll share those words with you. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine hard upon your face. And the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Good evening. It's my distinct pleasure to present the first of three co-valedictorians for the TAP High School class of 2026. Arushi Leilah has achieved a GPA of 4.8979 while completing She has been selected as a recipient of the highly prestigious $2,500 National Merit Scholarship from a pool of 7,600 finalists. Arushi has been admitted to the Honors College and the Chancellor Science College programs at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where she will pursue a major in statistics and operations research this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, Arushi.
Good evening, families, friends, teachers, coaches, administrators, in-laws, outlaws, and most importantly, the class of 2026. It is truly an honor to be standing before you today as valedictorian, and according to some, class meeting. The past 6 or 7 years with all of you have been a journey in the deepest sense of the word. We spent years chasing grades, deadlines, and milestones, always looking ahead to the next thing. Now that we are finally here at graduation, it's tempting to think that the culmination of all of this work is in this moment. But I don't think that's true. The real value of our time together was never just getting to this point. It was in every little step we took along the way. It was in the random, sleep-deprived Tuesday mornings that turned into inside jokes we'll still be laughing about years from now. It was in the quiet, subtle moments, walking the hallways between classes and singing bars after practice. It was in the people who showed up for us day after day in ways that didn't seem important at the time, but ended up meaning more than we realized. We spend so much of our lives thinking the important moments will announce themselves, that they'll be obvious, cinematic, impossible. But the truth is, most of them are quiet. They're easy to rush past. They don't look like milestones. And yet, those ordinary days are what shaped us. There was no single moment that made this meaningful, which is unfortunate because that would have made this speech long. But somehow, that's exactly what made all of it meaningful. So, if there's anything worth taking with us from high school, it's this. Pay attention. Pay attention to the people sitting next to you. Pay attention to the fleeting conversations that linger a little longer than expected. Pay attention to the moments that seem unimportant until suddenly they're the ones that you miss the most. Value your friendships not just for what they've been, but for what they've taught you. Because long after we forget test scores and assignments, we'll remember how people made us feel. We'll remember who stood by us. We'll remember who we became because of each other. None of us got here alone, so thank you to the families who carried us through more than you probably realized. And personally, thank you to my own family for always supporting me and loving me for every step I've taken to get here today. I wouldn't be standing on this stage if it wasn't for you. Thank you to the teachers, coaches, and staff who believed in us and pushed us to be better. And thank you to my mother for turning ordinary days into something we'll miss for the rest of our lives. We don't get to keep every moment with us, but we do get to decide which ones we truly live in, and which ones we let pass us by. So, while we're here, before we go our separate ways to chase different dreams in different places, let yourself be in this moment a little more. Because one day, these will be the moments we wish we could go back to. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2026. My crew, let's ride.
Leilah has also achieved a GPA of 4.8979. While completing for Science and Technology. Leilah plans to attend the University of Virginia's highly selective direct entry Bachelor of Science nursing program, joining the fall 2026 cohort.
Yeah, I'm a police officer. You feel good?
Good evening, everyone. Today marks the beginning of a brand new journey. To our graduates, families, friends, faculty, staff, and guests, thank you for being here to celebrate this incredible milestone. Before anything else, I want to thank our teachers and our families for pushing us, supporting us, and helping us become the people we are today. Now, class of 2026, do we remember our sophomore year pep rally? We walked into that pep rally and we showed power. We won the spirit today, and was anyone really surprised? Because even back then, we already knew we were the most spirited class. Class of 2026, that was and is us. That is the same energy we are going to take out this building tonight and use to change the world. And I say that because I know firsthand what it means when someone's world gets changed for them. If you know me even a little bit, you know me. You probably heard this before. I come to this country from Nepal when I was 9 years old. Back then, I didn't know the culture. I didn't know the language. And honestly, I didn't even know if I truly belonged here. And today, I'm standing in front of you all giving this speech. I don't say that to impress you, but rather to remind you of something truly important. Growing up in Nepal showed me a world that most of us here don't see every day. Right now, as we sit in this very room celebrating, there are children. There are kids our age working day and night not to save for college, but just to survive. Kids who are as brilliant as us, who have every dream we have, but will never get this moment, never get this stage, and never get this chance. So when I say do it tired, I mean it. Do it unmotivated. Do it even when no one is watching, because someone somewhere out there is risking everything with everything they have that they could trade places with you tonight. Do not waste this chance. I also want to thank the people who made this moment possible for me personally. Mommy and Dad, thank you for doing everything you do, crossing an ocean, bringing me to a country full of possibility. You gave me a chance, I'll spend the rest of my life being worthy of. To my sister, thank you for paving the way. Before I even knew to dream it. For being there through every late night, every breakdown, every moment I didn't think I could do it. And to my baby brother, you are the absolute joy of my life, never change. Class of 2026, we're truly the Tab High, truly the best Tab High has ever seen. We have brought energy, passion, and spirit to every corner of Tab High. Carry our same spirit into every room you enter, every challenge you face, and every dream you pursue. Let it remind you to keep going when things get difficult, and to stay grounded when success comes your way. And as you move through life, do it for yourselves. Do it for the people who sacrifice for you, and do it for those who never had the opportunities we have been given. Congratulations, Tigers. Let's go change the world.
And finally, I have the honor of presenting the third valedictorian from the Tab High School class of 2026. Eddie too has also achieved a GPA of 4.8979 while completing the York County School of and attending the New Horizons Public School for Science and Technology. Eddie was awarded the Charles R. Westgate Scholarship in Engineering from John
stand here tonight in front of what I truly believe is one of, if not the most diversely talented, most spirited, most ambitious high school communities nationwide. I'd like to start by thanking people who make me feel that way. To Donnie and Griffin, my two best friends that I moved here from Canada in 6th grade, with whom I can spend the rest of the night recounting memories. To my tennis team and coach, my second family, there for me on and off the court. To all my teachers, who speak their passions throughout the classroom, whether we're half asleep or not. To my dad, my role model, whose story of risk and sacrifice will inspire me for the rest of my life. To my mom, whose unwavering love and care continue to amaze me every day. Thank you, Mama. I literally wouldn't be here without you. And most of all, to the class of 2026, future teachers, doctors, engineers, athletes, entrepreneurs, and everything in between. Look around you. This is past, past present, past future. You'll all leave your mark in this world if you have one. In his book, The Art of War, ancient Chinese general Sun Tzu wrote, "Deep way to bridge out and war. Opportunities multiply as they are seized." To add on to this book, even the meaning of opportunity itself changed over time. As a toddler, opportunity was a chance to watch my favorite TV show, Wild Threads. During quarantine, opportunity was a chance to play Minecraft in between virtual classes. In the summer before 9th grade, I had the opportunity of a lifetime to make a name for myself in this special tap high school. Who would have known I'd be among the people I met, or win class president a year later, or speak before you tonight? Because that summer, I almost moved to California. In another timeline, I wouldn't be here today. And I mention this not to make this speech a personal anecdote, but to shift the perspective of all my peers who feel like there aren't enough opportunities to seize in Yorktown, Virginia. People see Yorktown as a boring little suburb in the middle of nowhere. They want to be in New York, LA, overseas, but simply don't see this peaceful, clean, historic community that convinces us today. Yorktown is where I've developed my present definition of opportunity. It isn't any specific city or college, and it certainly doesn't have to be far away. It could be right here, because opportunity is about making the most of wherever you are and whatever you have. For me, I found time and place to make the most out of. And like Spencer said, opportunities multiply as they are seized. By starting with small things like making friends, joining groups, and leaving your comfort zones, larger opportunities will reveal themselves. Class of 2026, the world and all its opportunities are yours to seize. As the final students who meet here tonight, I wish you all success in the world, no matter where you're going. Set your heart for this. And for the very last time, one Tiger team! One Tiger
Thank you, by the way, that was beautiful. Dr. Carroll brings more than 35 years of experience in public education and currently serves as superintendent of the York County School Division. Prior to his appointment, he served as both the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Human Resources Officer roles, providing leadership across operations, personnel, strategic planning, and student support services. His career in education began as a substitute teacher and includes service as a middle school special education teacher, high school social studies teacher, assistant principal, and principal in both Florida and North Carolina. Since joining York County in 2014, Dr. Carroll has helped lead major division initiatives in operations, resources, capital improvement, and crisis response, while maintaining a consistent focus on organizational effectiveness and continuous improvement. Dr. Carroll holds degrees from Florida Southern College, Florida Atlantic University, and Wingate University, and a graduate certificate in educational finance from Georgetown University. And before I welcome York County School Division Superintendent Dr. James Carroll, there is one final message I'd like to share. This celebration is in recognition of us, but we would not be who we are today without our teachers, our staff, and all of our family who are here today. In fact, can we please give them all a round of applause for everything that they have done for us? To our teachers and staff, your endless compassion and dedication showed up in all of the lessons you taught. And to the family and parents, you've given us your best, even when we didn't. We love you all. This is Leilah, I asked you what I was. And we thank you for your support these past 13 years. And to my mom and my dad, Rahmat Dayad, Rahmat Dadam. And with that being said, please welcome York County School Division Superintendent, Dr. James Carroll.
Thank you, Donnie, and thank you for stealing one of my lines. I was going to recognize the staff, but did it way better than I would, so thank you. Graduates, on behalf of the entire York County School Division, all of your current and former teachers, administrators, lunch monitors, para-educators, school board office personnel, bus drivers, principals and assistant principals, custodians, executive assistants, school nutrition personnel, and everyone I can't think of right now, congratulations. I'm so honored to be with you here today for this most important rite of passage. I'd like to address a couple of things with you, but actually right now this isn't working. This is not working. It's just so hot, itchy. Okay, where was it? Now this doesn't feel right either. I'm not wearing a hat, you guys have to wear a hat, right? Let's see what I can find something. Might be a little big, but how's this? Alright? Much more comfortable, thank you. Okay, so let's get started. I saw a social media clip a few months ago. It was a short interview with an ex-CIA agent turned podcaster, because that's what everybody turns into these days, right? His name is Andrew Bustamante. And he stated in the interview, the most important things a person can learn is to understand the difference between perception and perspective. And I agree, understanding and utilizing the difference can be life-changing as you move off of perception and into perspective. He explains perception as your interpretation of the world around you, but it's unique only to you, so it's limited. For instance, I once suffered from the perception that the concept of separating the laundry was ridiculous. When I was about your age, I laundered my white t-shirts with a brand new red sweatshirt in hot water. For those of you that know better, my white shirts turned what color? Pink. Very good. Where were you when I needed you? However, perspective is different from perception in that it is the act or art of observing the world from someone else's viewpoint. It may sometimes be difficult, but looking for perspective can come different ways. From using empathy, or just taking a deep thinking about a situation through also from putting yourself into the shoes of other individuals involved in whatever situation you're trying to navigate. And armed with that additional perspective, you can then act to respond more appropriately in any situation. There's another thing that gives somebody perspective, and that is the perspective that time uses. You know this from your own life. In the last few days, you all been seeing your watch, right? You went back to elementary school. You had to recall memories of being in kindergarten or first grade and how very little you knew about the world then. And conversely, how small do those halls seem compared to 12 years ago? You've come a long way. And so it is for your loved ones that are here with you today. You're probably at least half the age of your parents, and so they and other members of your family are at least double your age. They've lived on this planet much longer than you. They know a little bit more about how the world works. That's a generational perspective. You need to know this. If it was possible, most everybody in this room would seriously consider trading places with you. But only if the condition was they were able to bring the perspective that they gathered 30 years back. That's how important perspective is. So now, I urge you to be as independent as possible. That is a good thing. But avail yourself of all the perspective you can. You're about to enter maybe the toughest, likely the most exciting time of your life. Search people out in your life that can give you perspective on the challenges that you're going to face. Trust a friend, family member, or mentor. One more thing. I also want to encourage you to make yourself uncomfortable at every opportunity. Challenge yourself. Do the hard things. It'll make all the difference. Jensen Wang is CEO of NVIDIA, currently the richest company in the world. He says it this way: I wish upon you plenty of pain and suffering. I'll say that again. I wish upon you plenty of pain and suffering. That sounds like a strange wish, but it's only because he knows the value of experience that brings knowledge, wisdom, and perspective. So, as you leave the comfort of Tabb High School, and you enter this most dynamic part of your life, again, fight through the uncomfortable, build experiences, actively search for perspective. Graduates, I bid you a hearty congratulations, Godspeed, welcome you to adulthood.
and most importantly, the graduating class of 2026. Last week, and as you know, I'm the one standing between you and actually walking across the stage and graduating. I want you to do one thing, and some people are already trying to start doing that for me. I want you to really take in what's about to happen. I want you to look in the audience. I want you to try to find your parents or your friends and give them a wave. Is going to fade. And I want you to always remember that you are literally surrounded by people who love you and care about you. Your family and friends have poured into you for years. And guess what? This is their moment too. So when you walk out tonight, don't forget to hug them tightly, thank them repeatedly, and above all else, let them take as many pictures as they like. Together. I don't know if you realize this, but 4 years ago, we started high school together. After 15 years of being an elementary school principal, and for many of you, your elementary school principal, I was given the life-changing opportunity to become the principal at Tabb High School. I believe this class will always be special to me because we were all starting something new together. Over the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of watching you grow from uncertain students trying to find your way through life and the halls of Tabb High School into confident individuals ready to take on a world full of possibility. You know, on Monday, during our graduation rehearsal in the auditorium, I started thinking about our first freshman assembly together in that very same space. I was thinking about how those sweet, chatty, incredibly energy-filled 14-year-olds had no idea what's in front of them. But guess what? You all figured it out. You figured out how to take a shortcut from one hall to the next to get to your class on time. Well, maybe not on time, right? No. Okay. You also figured out that studying for a test actually changes the outcome. You started learning that maybe through an experience with a friend or a staff member, that you were learning some tough life lessons and maturing. And overall, in the end, you learned to be a better person. Well, whether you're heading to college, starting a career, joining the military, or simply you're just going to take some time to figure it out and take one day at a time, please remember that starting something new is never easy. Growth comes when things are messy, confusing, and scary. And like many people in this building, we once stood exactly where you are. Uncertain, nervous, and maybe just a little afraid. But lean into that feeling. It means you're stepping into something meaningful. And that so-called challenge, well, it might just change your life. So my first words of advice to you this evening, new beginnings are hard. I promise you that. But they are so worth it. Okay, so Leilah already talked about this, and we did talk about it when we were preparing for our speeches, but now we're all going to hop in that time machine and go back to your sophomore year, and we're going back to the homecoming pep rally. You brought it that day. Your class was by far wearing the most orange for Big Orange Day. You were repeating chants before you ever got into the gym. You were the loudest, the most full-spirited, dare I say, the best class that I've seen in that gym? Well, no. But you have to also remember that was only the second homecoming pep rally of my
pep rally went on, the cheers got louder, your enthusiasm went through the roof. You probably saw teachers measuring the decibel level on their phone. It was time to huddle up with some staff, probably some staff members that are sitting over there. And I leaned in and I said, obviously it's a sophomore class, right? We do that, don't we? Yeah, sure. Whatever you want to do is your choice. No, seriously, I'm not going to get in trouble for picking the sophomores instead of the seniors, right? No. Whatever you want to do. You just call the winner. Okay, let's do this. I go out there, and the winners of the Spirit Stick were the sophomore class. Do you remember what happened? Booze. Lots and lots of booze. Seniors followed me out of that gym, questioning what in the world had just happened. Well, I took many seniors' questions that day. Probably if any of the class of 2024 is in this building and you run into them, they will probably regale you with their stories. But the lesson here is, I stood behind my decision. I stood behind you. You were the best that day. So my second life lesson for you is this. When you go out into the world, have enough conviction to stand behind your decisions. If you can defend it, don't let others try to tear it down. Stand firm and support what you believe in. And maybe I have one more life lesson. Sometimes you just can't trust the advice of your friends, like the one standing in that circle with you that day. The last thing I want to celebrate is the way you support and care about each other. I'm talking about this group right here in front of us today. This class is nothing short of amazing when it comes to supporting one another. You all have such different gifts, talents, and abilities. Amongst you sit scholars, artists, musicians, athletes, actors, actresses, businessmen and businesswomen, cadets, world champion winners, state champions, scholarship recipients, tradesmen, entrepreneurs, and so much more. While these are very distinct groups, what I have loved watching most over the last 4 years is that these groups have bled into each other. I've watched you show up for each other and celebrate wins, fill student sections in the bleachers, cheer on your friends in sporting events, and I've seen rows in the auditorium packed just to catch a glimpse of your performing arts classmates. I have watched you lean on each other when you experience setbacks and failure, and I have seen you console each other through grief and loss. One thing that is certain about this class, you did not give up, ever. And you especially did not ever give up on each other. Your unwillingness to give up is exactly what has landed you in that seat today. Don't lose that fighting spirit, and don't ever forget when you learned at TAG. We don't give up on each other. I hope you will always carry these memories with you and resist the urge to outgrow them. Talk about your high school years often. Reminisce with the people you shared this time with, and hold on to some of those lessons you learned. Take it from this old lady who graduated from high school in the late 1900s. You have just finished 4 of the best years of your life. You really have. You've experienced both the good and the not so good. In the end, I want to say to all of you, I am incredibly proud of you, but I am even more proud to be your principal and stand here with you today. We will forever be connected by the memories of this year. So once again, congratulations. I know you are destined for great things. The TAG medallion has been commissioned to represent one of the highest honors that can be awarded to a graduating senior from TAG High School. Only those students who have, for all their years at TAG, contributed to the pride and spirit of the school may be selected. The principal and the committee look for those students who have dedicated themselves to Tabb High School in making the selection. These students have been active, helpful, hardworking tigers, giving of their time and energy beyond all expectations. The Tabb Medallion is awarded at the graduation ceremony, and all recipients are unaware of this honor until that time. The Tabb Medallion is an honor bestowed on those precious few who personify all that Tabb High School represents. This year, we would like the following students to come to the stage and accept the Tabb Medallion. Ainsley Asbury, now it is my honor to begin the presentation of diplomas.
Arushi, rise up. Eddie Van Joshua Donnie York Babajna. David Sammy Abdel. Abigail Rosa Agranton. Brittany Annabelle Anderson. Anne Marie Anderson. Aaron James Andrews. Brayden Timothy Andula. Jason Josue Barga. Domani Ainsley Lynn Asbury. Josiah Aaron Astor. Haley Joy Atkins. Alondra Carolina Ayala Irizarry. Aspen Gray Bogry. Caroline Nicole Barr. Elizabeth Grace Baker. Jordan Baptiste. Jan Naru Burgos. Ethan Aaron Baroy. Audrey Madeline Barton. Christopher David Bassett. Torai Phoenix Bates. Ethan Gabriel Battle. Lauren Alexis Magor. Ella Catherine Bentley. Hiat Mulugeta Burhan. Isaiah Jamal Blunt. Jonathan Michael Montelier. Sade Marie Boone. Benjamin Bosell. Henry Michael Boudreau. Cullen Neil Ballard. Benjamin Wayne Boyd. Madeline Louise Boyd. Grayson Tyler Braff. Cole Collins Frenchies. Michaela Rose Brindle. Cannon Avery Brooks. David X. Brooks. Savannah Mackenzie Brooks. Nathan Scott Brown. Addison Ella Burheit. Ethan Jeffrey Burton. Brendan Chow. Parker Nicholas Carroll. Kiera Isabella Castlegan. Vanessa Centeno Lopez. Marion Elena Chandler. Clara Mary Chubb. Samuel Woodland Christopher. Noah Jackson Chiquetta. Kayla Rodier Coleman. Nathaniel Elijah Coleman. Gianna Rose Collins. Daniel Matthew Conti. Virgilio Esteban Cruz Valentin. Jaden Amanda Curry. Jaden Dexter Curry. Elena Lenora Davidson. Bella Lee Davis. Sarah Mackenzie Deal. Skylar Ryan Diener. Brody David Dotterer. Michaela Zendegi Doyle. Eddie Junius Drummond V. Charlize Simone Denard. Nicole Douglas Dwyer. Avery Joy Everett. Leilah Janor Elliott. Kebron Elias Esplin. Brandon Richard Eubanks. Ernest Lamont Evans Jr. Connor Alexander Clarity. Asia Colleen Forbes. Greg Lamont Forrest III. Madeline Rye Villaverde Francisco. Julius Antonio Franklin. Daniel Lewis Frere. Noel Ann Cross. Kennedy Grace Grog. Mark Mina.
Lucas